How's it going, guys? It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been like 2 months since you've seen my face, at least. Anyway, a few days ago, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice came out, and I decided to get it because, um, I like Dark Souls, and I also like Tenchu. You guys probably don't know Tenchu if you're like under the age of like 20, but Tenchu was it was a stealth action game where you play it as a ninja, and Sekiro is kind of like a cross between those two franchises, Dark Souls and Tenchu. So I'm a fan of both series. I decided to get it, and yeah, here it is. I also got a letter opener katana. It's up. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's up there. I have it. Kind of just. I got it as a pre-order bonus at GameStop. Anyway, this ain't a full review. It's a mini review. The reason why it's a mini review is because I haven't beaten this game. Let me tell you what Sekiro is all about. Sekiro is basically like a rescue revenge story. You play as a guy named Sekiro, people call him Wolf, who needs to, find his lord and return him from the person who stole the lord from him. It's not a great story. It's kind of, it serves its purpose as having a story. It's obviously not the main draw, as with all From Software games. So yeah, that's basically it. Gameplay wise, it is a lot like a cross between Dark Souls and Tenchu. Um, there is not the combat. I'll get to the combat. There are basic stealth kills that you can do from behind and from above. Like if an enemy is below you and you're on, the top of a house or something, you can jump down and kill them. Now, the combat, it's not like Dark Souls. And I think the reason why a lot of people, or a lot of Dark Souls fans, have not been liking this game is because of how different it is and how it wasn't what they expected it to be. Sekiro is about damaging your enemy's posture, which is, I'm guessing it's kind of like their stamina bar. The stamina of this game is your posture. And if you attack their posture enough for them to stagger, you can execute them. You can perform a death blow, is what they call it, to kill them instantly. If they're regular enemies, it will kill them instantly. Most of the mini-bosses have 2 health bars. You can stealth death blow the first bar and then fight them and then whittle away their stamina during their second health bar. The same goes for main bosses as well. And there's a lot of mini bosses, but unfortunately most of them are just kind of like humanoid enemies, just really hard. Now, there's no really level up mechanics in this game. You find various resources to upgrade your tools. You have a prosthetic arm that has different tool utilities. You find these utilities. You have one for like shuriken, you have like a spear, an axe that can break through shields, firecrackers to startle, animal-like enemies, stuff like that. These are all really useful tools, and they're actually pretty cool. You can upgrade all those. The XP that you gain from killing enemies is basically kind of like the XP level ups in this game. Kind of you acquire the skills through the checkpoints, which are like the shrines, and use that to upgrade whatever. You can either learn a new skill or something passive, like make it so that you get more health from your healing items, and stuff like that. And you also acquire these prayer beads, and every time you acquire 4 of them, mostly from mini bosses, you can use it to max out your overall vitality and your posture. So prayer beads are kind of like the things that really help you out in the long run. That just give you more health and stamina, period. One thing that really kills it, though, and I think many people would agree, it's really, really, really batshit fucking hard. It's it's exhausting, and as much as I really appreciate this game with them kind of bringing back that whole Tenchu feeling, and as much as I really fucking appreciate this awesome new combat mechanic, the posture system, From Software took it way too far on the difficulty. Alright? I'm a very experienced Souls player, but that doesn't really matter. Like, I feel like whether you've played Souls games for like 1,000 hours or you've never touched the game before, I feel like the difficulty of this game is the same for everyone. Dark Souls players are not experienced when they're trying to play this game. They're not, because the combat in this game is much different. In Souls, you either rely on blocking or, you know, exchanging blows through, you know, blocking and attacking, you know, or dodging their attacks and having invincibility frames while you're dodging. In this game, there's no such thing. That's what makes it a lot harder. So being a Dark Souls veteran doesn't help at all. But the big issue I have with it that makes it more frustrating than fun is simply the damage numbers that the enemies inflict on you. You die in like 2 hits. After 15 hours or so, like I said, I got fairly far into it. Not end game, but, you know, I probably made it like halfway through the game when I decided to call it quits, because even though it is a good game, it's obviously a really good game, I just can't bring myself. I don't see myself getting better at this game after each death. And then, of course, they spam a bunch of these attacks that you cannot deflect, so you kind of have to dodge or jump over them or whatever. So a lot of them, they don't give you that many windows of opportunity to attack them, and it's too frustrating. It's not a game for me, unfortunately. Anyway, guys, yeah, if I were to give a final score, which is kind of impossible, seeing as I didn't really play enough to give my full thoughts, but it's so goddamn brutal. It's so fucking hard that I can't really play it. It's too stressful. I have too much shit going on in my life, and I don't need that stress to add on to it. I don't need to have to worry about that crap, and maybe it's just my age, and, you know, maybe the older I get, the less I care about really challenging games, and the more I just want to sit back and relax and enjoy something that I can play on my spare time, you know. Then again, I can play Dark Souls okay for the most part. I mean, Dark Souls is hard enough. It shouldn't be any harder than Dark Souls, you know. And Sekiro is just ridiculous. It's like stupidly hard. They really dropped the ball. They just I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I don't even know. I'm 99% sure they can't even beat their own game. Hypothetically speaking, if I was a top tier player, like the top 1% of the human race, if that, who can actually beat this, I'd probably give it around an 8, maybe? Maybe it's around an 8, because, say for instance, okay, well, I kind of take a point off just because of how insanely difficult it is, but I have some other complaints. Now, I love how in this game, From Software finally made a game where you can jump where you can, use a grappling hook to reach high areas or escape, enemies and go back into stealth, or the fact that you can finally swim in a Souls-like game. What? Like, that's fucking cool. That's awesome. I love that. There are a few complaints that I have. One is that, it's a nitpicking complaint, but, you can't see your sword. Like, whenever you are climbing along a ledge or something, Sekiro's sword is just, like, sinking into his hands, so... Nothing really big, but, nitpicking. And also, I don't like how there's only one weapon in the game. There's only one main weapon, and you can't upgrade that weapon. I want more customization options in this game, and I think most people would agree with me on that. Also, the story, like I said, is very run-of-the-mill, not impressive at all from what I've... Sorry, excuse me. From what I've played. There's... I don't know, maybe the second half is a lot better, but, like I said, this is just my impressions, my first 15 hours or so impressions of the game. So, yeah, there's my thoughts on Sekiro. It's not a bad game at all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trashing Sekiro. It's just too difficult for my taste, This is a true masochist game. If you love getting your ball sack slit open, and put some lemon juice in there, and you like getting your nipples twisted off, then, yeah, Sekiro is going to be your game. 10 out of 10. If you're a casual player, this game is a 1 out of 10. If you're someone like me, no, I know, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna give it the benefit of the doubt that the rest of the game is great. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. An optimistic 8 out of 10, The difficulty is the only thing that really, really kills it for me, and I suppose if I had nothing else to play, then I would continue playing this, but I got at least 100 other more games to play, man. I can't stay committed to one game. I'm sorry. So, yeah, that's, Sekiro. Not bad, but I can't really recommend it. All I'm going to say is it's probably... It's definitely by far one of the hardest games I've ever tried to play. It's right up there with Fury. But yeah, if you're looking for the hardest game on the market right now, if you're curious to see what the hardest fucking game you could possibly find, get Sekiro.
The Gamer Gods!